Hey guys, it's Amy and welcome back or welcome to my video. Today I am very excited, and as you can see I have my The Boyz album here because today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your very own The Boyz album, or at least the packaging anyway. But I'm so excited for this DIY. To start off, I believe it was the Dreamlike album that they started making the albums more vertical and more like a book. So mine is kind of on display right now on my shelf and it's hard to take out, but I will insert some photos. And while I don't have anything against that format, I do still like the old one that they had for their mini albums, which is what you guys can see here. So today I'm going to be making one for their Dreamlike album because I wanted a place to store the CD and goodies that I got from it. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing that you want to do is get the measurements of the outer box cover, and if you don't have one of the older albums, don't worry because I will supply the measurements for you. Now I'm taking some paperboard and drawing out the front, back, and side, and because I want the outside cover to be quite durable, I'm going to be cutting 3 of each. Next, I'm gluing the pieces together, but make sure that the images are on the inside so that it's easier to cover with white paper later. After that is done, we're going to cover them with white paper. So now that we have the 3 pieces done, we are now going to connect them, and for that I'm just going to be using regular white paper. I'm going to cut 2 pieces for both sides that are each 20.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters. So before I glue these on, I'm just going to carefully bend them in half. That way it makes it easier to attach and also serves as a better hinge. As well, it might help to do this a little bit at a time like I'm doing here. That way it's a little bit easier. Now we can glue them down, but make sure that the center line matches up with where the 2 sides meet. I didn't originally plan for this, but I decided to cut another piece of paper to go in the center just so that it looks a little bit neater. While we wait for this to dry, I'm going to go ahead and measure and cut out the pieces that we need for the inner box, so let's go. Essentially, you use some of the same measurements as the outer box for the length, but remove 1 centimeter since each side will have 5 millimeters extra space. Also, all of the widths will be 2 centimeters since that translates to the height. So once you have 3 of each side, you just want to glue them together again with the images facing the inside, and now we're going to cover them with paper. I'm now going to lay the pieces side by side, and I cut little pieces of paper that are 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters and folded them in half, and I'm just going to glue those between to make a frame. I cut pieces of paper that are the same size as each side, so I'm going to take each one and just glue it on the inside to cover it up. And while that is drying, I sketched out the Boyz logo. I cut out each letter, and then I'm going to take a piece of blue washi tape, place the letter on top, and use that as a guide to cut the tape. It's a bit tricky to cut, but once you have all of your letters, you can place them on the spine and it'll look like this. And now it is time for the exciting part where we glue in the inner box. So first, just make sure that you're gluing on the right side. So this side should have a nice paper finish and not like this. And then you want to see where your inner box sort of sits and its placement. I realized that mine actually doesn't have the 5 millimeters of space all around that I originally intended, but that's okay, it still works. And now I just set the inner box gently aside, and I'm going to use some liquid glue to place it all around. And now for the lid, we have our final piece of paper, but before I glue it in, I'm going to write the track list on it first. So this is what the finished album looks like, and I love it so much. I feel like I say that every DIY video, but I really do love it. It actually turned out so much better than I expected, since at first I wasn't sure that it was going to really work out, but everything did, so that's great. My favorite part is probably the blue glitter washi tape on the sides, since I think it just really makes the album and it actually inspired this DIY. Also, I can't go out and print a color photo of the boys right now, so let's just pretend that it's there. So lastly, I just wanted to note a few things. For the back, if you guys want, you can add something. I just decided to leave it blank, but if you wanted to, you could. The official albums also have a magnet on the front and the lid, just so that it doesn't slide. So that is something that I also decided to take out, but if you guys want to include it, you can. And another optional thing that you can do is add clear drying liquid glue along the edges, just so that it's more durable and sturdy. Lastly, I don't think I'll actually be putting my official merch in here for too long, other than like for a quick photo, since I'm worried about the glue, marker, and stuff, unless I put it all in a plastic bag. But you guys can always put your unofficial merch or anything else that you want. But it does fit, which is good to know. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!